Anthony Hartwig with you, South Range girls basketball player profile. I'm joined by senior Taylor McClsh. Taylor, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Here it is, senior season. It feels like just yesterday we were interviewing you as a freshman, you and Emma together. What's it mean to you to kind of be in the senior season and try to feel all the emotions that senior year can bring?
It feels great. I mean, it's definitely crazy looking back, like all the way to freshman year and seeing like how much like me and Emma have grown. And like it's crazy that we're already like halfway through our season through, and it's just time flies, honestly.
What were some of the big things that brought you back this year to South Range to kind of give a last hurrah and play on in your senior season?
One of the main reasons I came back was obviously for Emma, and that it's like it was my senior year. I didn't play any sports, and I was like, I might as well. And then last year, like I took it off. I had a lot of things going on, and so I was like, I might as well. It didn't hurt to try, and I missed it a whole bunch last year, and so that's kind of one of the reasons I came back.
All right, so was it one of those things that you didn't realize how much you missed until you got back on the floor and you got back on the practices and that kind of in the game feeling? Did you miss it? Did you realize even how much you missed it even more when you got on the floor?
Oh, 100%.
Now that you are back and it is your senior year and everything you're doing is kind of for the last time, how are you handling the emotions that senior year can bring? The last home game in a couple of weeks, and the last time you play this team, time you play this team, and whatever it may be, all the last that senior year can bring. How are you handling the emotions?
I'm definitely towards the like as it's getting towards the end, I'm getting a little upset that it's like my last year, because to me it still feels like it's my junior year because I didn't play. So like it's kind of like a realization that like this is like the final of everything, and it makes me sad.
How long did it take you to get back into basketball shape and get back into the groove of being a varsity level basketball player?
I think it definitely took me almost I'd say a couple of weeks to like get back into the flow, because like I didn't pick up a ball for a year, and then like just jumping into it was definitely difficult for me at first, but now like halfway through the season, like I'm finally finding my groove again, and feels great.
It all came rushing back because here you are, one of the big deep threats of this South Range offense. You're definitely shooting pretty well this year, especially from behind the arc. What has gone into your success this year, especially like I said, especially in the shooting aspect?
um well, I like freshman and sophomore year, whenever I played, I was never really an offensive player, more defense. And so this year, like, because we never really like had like a huge like leading scorer. Like our leading scorer was like Lexi, and now that we didn't have her, I knew that like in practice I needed to work on my shooting so that I could give like the team extra points when we needed it. And so that's like something I really focus on in practice, is I'm always shooting threes, like working on my form and stuff. So we have that during the games.
A big thing that goes into shooters is their confidence, right? So, what have you been doing to try to keep your confidence up throughout this whole season? As you said, you knew you had to be kind of more of an offensive threat. So, what did you kind of do to make sure your confidence was always at the highest level it could be?
Um, well, definitely getting the green light from Coach Fischel. Like he encourages me a whole bunch to shoot in the games and in practice. Like him telling me that I'm a good shooter, like that definitely brings my confidence a bunch.
You and Emma are the only two seniors on this team. It's a good mix of you got some veterans that have been on the varsity floor for a couple of years, and then you got some new faces that are kind of stepping up to bigger roles or stepping into the team. What's that been like this season from your perspective to kind of gel some veterans with some new players that are trying to find their own spot on the floor?
I think that it's honestly great seeing all like the new freshmen come up, and they're a huge help. And it's nice for me and Emma to get to be the leaders, because like how it was for us freshman year, Bree and Izzy, they were the leaders and we looked up to them, and now the freshmen are looking up to me and Emma. So I think it's nice.
How much of your freshman year did you draw back on to try to help the freshmen this year and try to give them advice on kind of some of the things that you went through on your freshman season?
Definitely to like slow the game down, because like whenever like you come in as a freshman, like you feel like you're rushed, like you don't have any confidence. And then so like me and Emma, we try to build their confidence up, like it's okay to make mistakes, like we did it too, and like so tell them like it's okay, like no worries, like we're there for you, you know.
As you reflect on freshman year trying to do that, what do you think are some biggest the biggest differences you see in yourself from freshman year Taylor to now?
Definitely my voice. Like freshman year, I was real quiet. Like I never, like I didn't want to talk over like the older people. So now that like I'm older, like I feel like I'm a lot more vocal and definitely a bigger leader to the younger girls.
What was it like coming into this season? Obviously, we talked about missing last year, but you come in and you know that you have to be a leader to this team. So how do you balance trying to just get back into the basketball flow, but also trying to be a senior leader to this team that really needed some leadership to step up?
Emma definitely helped with that. Like I saw her stepping up, and so like I knew like it was time for me to step up.
Mhm.
And like she, before basketball season started, we would go to the gym and we'd shoot around because I wasn't 100% for sure gonna play, but then she finally talked me into it, and so that kind of helped.
You and Emma are both We're both members of teams that went to regional finals and those back-to-back runs that the Raiders had not too long ago. How much does that make you guys hungry to try to get the Raiders back to that kind of dominance and that kind of tournament run?
I definitely think if we play like as a team, we can 100% make it to regional finals again. It's just all about confidence. Like as long as we all have faith in each other, I 100% think we can.
And we have seen that grow throughout the season. We know a tough start to the year for you guys, but now you're starting to put it together. Take us inside the locker room and what kind of things have been happening in there to really build that trust and build that faith in each other to play as a unit.
I think that like at the beginning of the season, like it was hard for us all to bond because like we never really like saw each other. Like me and Emma really aren't in school, so we never saw any of the other girls.
Mhm.
And I think like halfway through the season, like we finally like we were like we need to bond more, like we need to play as a team, and so I think that like that's what really helped.
What were some of the things you guys did off the court to try to bond more with this team and try to build team chemistry a little bit?
We started doing team feeds, so we'd stay after school and we'd all talk to each other. And then like in the locker room, like before games, we're always like jamming out to music, bonding with each other.
What teammate have you gotten to know the most over the course of this season so far?
Besides Emma, I'd say Olivia Yeagley.
I mean, could you have gotten to know Emma anymore? I mean, you guys have been like connected at the hip since freshman season. Um, why don't we just talk about that relationship? Obviously, you guys are really good friends. You've been good friends since we saw you in freshman year, probably before that. What's it been like going through this journey with her? And like you said, she talked you into coming back this year too.
I think it's honestly great. Like we've seen each other grow more than like I've seen anyone else grow, and it's nice like having that friend there for you because she's there for me like no matter what, and I'm always there for her. And it's awesome getting to see each other grow and be the person that like the best version of her.
How much does that connection help on the court? I mean, do you guys have almost a nonverbal communication where you kind of know what Emma's going to do before anyone else does?
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you think have been some of the big reasons why you two are so close? Like, what makes that friendship so strong?
I mean, honestly, like I feel like we're the exact same like type of person. We're like we're pretty much twins. Like we could honestly be sisters if we really wanted to. Yeah, I just feel like we get along so well. Like it's hard to explain.
All right, Coach Fish has brought kind of a rejuvenated step into this program, and obviously you've been under him so your whole career. So, talk about what it's been like being coached by Coach Fishel and what he's brought to your life and what he's helped you with the most in your career.
Coach Fisher, he's an amazing coach. Definitely one of my favorites by far. He's he's really good about getting on me whenever I make a mistake, and he comes off like he's mean, but I know deep down inside he's only doing it to make the best version of myself. And he's really taught me a lot, and I'm very thankful for him.
What do you think is something that not a lot of people know about Coach Fishel that you guys get to know because you're in practices with him every day?
Um, He's definitely a very emotional person. You wouldn't think, like, seeing him coach, because he's like screaming at us, which coaches do. But he's a very emotional person.
When you kind of get into the emotions of the game because it's an emotional sport, what have been some of your favorite like moments of basketball that you've had so far in your career?
Um, hmm. I'd say like Poland, the
Mhm.
Poland game that we just had. Seeing that like no one like believed in us, like that it was going to be a blowout, and then seeing all of us as a team work really hard and like keeping them in the first quarter to 5 points, and it was like a 1 point game, and then seeing them like make a run, and then watching all of us come back and bring it down to like 5 points. I think that's like the excitement has definitely been my favorite.
How cool was it just to go back to that game to see Gwyn Lowry be the one that hits a shot to
That
make it a 3-point game? I mean, it's got to be awesome as a senior leader, right?
oh, I loved watching that. She had a couple more open shots. She didn't hit them, but like seeing her confidence after that shot, it was outstanding. I loved it.
Obviously, you guys didn't come out of that game, the right side of that game. But what did you guys take away? You've had a day now to be together as a team afterwards. What kind of lessons do you think you took from that game, and what kind of positives did you take from, like you said, playing a lot better against Poland than the first time around?
Um, it definitely helped. Like no one really believed in us like before the game, and then like we kind of used that as motivation. Like we really wanted to win it. It sucked that we didn't, but it definitely showed that if we can play together, we can 100% be on top.
All right, so now let's talk about future goals. Obviously, it's your senior season. So, last year at South Range, what kind of things do you see for yourself after graduation that you want to accomplish?
Um, After I graduate high school, I want to go to YSU and get my bachelor's degree in nursing, and then hopefully join into a PA program to become a physician assistant. Those are my big goals.
All right, so when you see yourself having the want to go into that career, what was it that made you interested in that? Was it kind of a life experience that leaned you toward nursing, or is it just something that you kind of want to explore?
Um, Most of my family members are nurses. Like my mom, I think three of my aunts are nurses, and my grandma, and so I just kind of want to like keep it going in the generation.
Let's talk about your family since you brought them up, and like you said, a family of nurses. What makes your family so special to you, and what are some things that you think make it unique from other families?
My family, I have three brothers and then my mom and dad, and I think they're so supportive no matter what. Like anything I wanted to do, like they're just always there for me. And then my brothers have always been there for me, and yeah.
When you look at some of your role models that you've had over your life, what kind of names come to mind?
Coach Fishel, Coach Pav, those are two huge role models. My mom and dad, they're big role models in my life.
Since you brought up your coaches, what kind of things outside of basketball do you think you draw from them that you'll probably take on after you graduate as life skills?
Leadership, they're huge like leaders to us, and I think I'll take that from them.
And then what about your mom and dad? Obviously, a lot of people have them as role models. What is it about them specifically that gives you that inspiration and that idea that they are role models to you?
Both my parents, they're very hard workers. They're normally never home, and I don't see them because they're always working. And I think like that shows like how much they want to provide for our family, and that's like something I want to do one day for my family.
All right, what is your favorite hobby outside of sports?
Um, so something I do is I race four wheelers professionally. You can consider it a sport. Most people consider it a hobby, but that's definitely my favorite.
No, when you're going that fast in a four-wheeler, that is a sport. I don't care what anyone says. Can we talk about that? Like, what got you into that? What's the driving force behind that? How's that going? I mean, wow.
So what got me into it was my dad, whenever he was around my age, he started racing. And then whenever me and my brothers were younger, I want to say around 8, we found a local race, and I watched my dad and my oldest brother race, and I was like, wow, like this is something I really want to do. And so I tried it, and then I loved it, and then it just kind of went from there. So
So professionally too. So you got to be pretty
yeah.
dang good at it. What's the I gotta know what's like the feeling of racing a four wheeler kind of like? I mean, it's got to be exhilarating, right?
Oh, it's definitely an adrenaline rush, and I love it.
What's the biggest thing that teaches you, racing and all that stuff?
Definitely determination. You have to have it. Like you have to want it more than others to be good at it, and it definitely taught me that I need to work hard for what I want.
Taylor McClsh, the racer, didn't know that, and now we do. Um, Taylor, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and yeah, letting us get to know you a little bit on and off the court. We appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the season, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
All right, thank you for having me.